Good afternoon, and welcome back to Marriage Culture TV. This is a place where marriage and culture intersect. On this channel, we talk all things marriage, intersecting with culture. I am Queen Athleen.
And I'm Nikio.
Thanks for joining us. If this is your first time joining us, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. On last week, we talked about things, a couple weeks ago, we talked about things not to say to single people. But on today's video, our topic is the transition from being single to married. And we're going to share some of our personal experiences. So this is more like an experiential type of video.
Right.
So
Straight
um,
from the
to,
heart and from our experiences.
to start off, Nikki will go forth and share some of her experiences.
So she just switched on me, guys, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the task. Um, I think one of the biggest things for me, I mean, with anything when you're transitioning into anything, it's different. It changes, and if you're courting and then you're living with someone, or you start, you're married and you're now in a home with someone, it's totally different than when you're just courting or dating. Now you're living with someone and everything changes. Now it's the responsibilities: who's taking out the trash, who's going to do dinner, who's going to do the dishes here and there, what about laundry and all of that stuff. So for me, the first couple of years was kind of hard because I like my personal space a whole lot.
Mm,
I'm gonna start off with that one first. Um, I really love my personal space, and like I always say, I'm an introvert, even though some people might not believe that. But I like just having my little space, having just knowing that, hey, I can just go to my room or going to the study or in the kitchen, and it's just me, myself, and I. Not when you're married. It's like, oh, so where are you? You've been gone for like 2 seconds. Where did you go? Oh, you were downstairs. Oh, so what are you doing downstairs? It was totally different. So I had to deal with that,
mhm.
and knowing that, hey, it's not about me anymore. And yes, I do have my me time and my own space and all of that stuff, but I'm also in covenant with someone, and I live with someone, and I'm with someone. So, I have to be accountable even when I have my little me times or have, that little personal time for myself. So I let Queen go from there.
For me, it was a little bit opposite. I enjoyed coming home and having my husband there, or looking forward to coming home. So that to me was that part was easy. The transition part that I sort of hit a bump in the road was, like Nikki said, the accountability part. And not that I thought that I wasn't going to be accountable, but there were things that I thought that were just minor and didn't weren't really a big deal. So I didn't communicate. Like I would leave work, for instance, and on my way home, like when I was single, I decided, hey, I'm just gonna swing by and get my nails done, get a manicure and pedicure done. So that would add like an hour, hour and a half, to my arrival back home. But I'll call my husband on the way there and I'll say, honey, I am going to stop and get my nails done. So he thought, okay, no problem. I guess I'll see you in 20 minutes. Well, it's an hour, hour and a half later, and I'm maybe just about leaving or coming home. And he's like, why didn't you communicate this morning that you were going to stop and get this done? I said, well, I didn't think about it this morning. I just decided on spur of the moment on my way home while I was in the car and I was close to the shop. So I just, pulled over. So those are the things I had to learn to communicate more. I was so used to being on autopilot, doing what I want when I want. I mean, I did communicate, I thought, the major things, but I had to learn to communicate even with the what I considered minor, no big deal things. Nikki?
Yeah, and just going back to what you said, not that I didn't enjoy it. I was just saying I loved having my little personal space.
Hmm.
It's
Okay.
always good to have someone there that's in your corner 24/7 no matter what, and that's what a spouse does for you. One of the things that I had to learn transitioning from being single to married is patience. You have to be
Mhm.
patient with that person, with your other person. When you're just talking on the phone or you're courting and you meet here and there and you talk and you're so nice and you give the best side, and and everything you laugh about and everything is funny, and you try to be that person who gives the best advice or whatever. When you're living with that person and they're in your personal space, you can get very impatient. And I'm one of those people that I'm still praying for patience. If I say, oh, maybe I should have some coffee, it's like I want the coffee right there. And if I just like to act and just do whatever I just say, and I want it done. And when you're in a relationship, it doesn't work that way at all. You know, like they say, patience is a virtue. I had to learn patience, still learning patience, but I'm very patient now. Even Athleen is saying, Nicola, you've been very patient. You've changed in that area. I have. Marriage has taught that transitioning from being single to being married. I learned to be patient.
Hooray for Nikki. That was a big one.
Yes, it was. Still working on it.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I think that's something that we all can always improve upon, me especially.
Yes.
However, my second point is that learning to cook my husband's food. We're from two different cultures, we're cross cultural marriages here. I'm from Jamaica, he's from Nigeria. Our cuisines are very different. And it took what seemed like an eternity to me to cook one meal. And I first learned his favorite meal, and then I tried to learn to cook that. And I do a very good job of it.
She
And
does, guys. She's very good. She's a very good cook.
and the funny thing is, I'm a very good cook, but it's not like I love to cook. It's just a necessity of life, and I do it because it has to be done. So I do it well. Um, so yes, learning to cook his meals was a big one. Thank God for the age of technology, man. I mean, I don't think I would have done so well if it was just like only cookbooks, but I used a lot of YouTube videos, and I want to shout out to some YouTubers who very selflessly put out how they cook their meals because it helps someone like me who's from a different culture. Um, so I learned to cook the meal, but what gave me a little edge on that competition, or what helped me a lot, was that because I was in the circle, I was around Nigerians for quite a few years. I know what the food should taste like. So, but cooking it was oh my goodness. By the time I got finished cooking, I was like limping to the couch. My feet hurt. I needed to soak my feet. My husband had to give me a foot massage. It was a task and a half. And then, I mean, he also eats my Jamaican food. And then, I cook some other intercontinental type foods. But his food was a big thing to adjust to, and to cooking it like couple times a week. Now I'm better at it and I can cook it with ease, but it's still a lot of work. It's still a lot of work. Nikki.
The transition for me is learning that, you know, I have to talk about, I have to every single thing has to be talked out. So you have to talk it out. Like how you had that song where they say, you have to walk it out. In this transitioning, I had to talk it out. Like Athleen
Hmm.
said, you're dealing with two different cultures.
Hmm.
Like we said, it's intercultural marriage. So things that I would say and it means a certain thing, or I would say it a certain way, and it's just like it is just what it is, what I said. But for him and for his culture, it's totally different.
Hmm.
Simple phrases, simple comments, simple exclamations or faces or body movements, it was meant something totally different for him. So I learned that if I said something, then sometimes I had to go into a little bit more detail with it and be like, okay, when I said A and B, I
Hmm.
really meant A and B, not A plus B divided by 0 times 2 minus C, because that's how we used to say it where I'm from. I meant it just the way I said. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to learn. The transitioning was that I had to learn that every single thing, every single simple things, because I found that we were butting heads, which is different things, which I mean, just saying things and it didn't mean anything. And I think for me, and I'm gonna just be honest, I was more open. So in regards to culture, so if you say something, I don't necessarily jump and use my background to say, okay, that's what you meant by it. But for him, it was totally different. So I had to learn to talk it out,
So
you
you
know.
think, do you think the transition in that aspect was harder for him than for you?
Definitely, definitely, because I realized that I might say something and not explaining, and it was taken a totally different way, and you found that even the simplest things could turn into
Mm-hmm.
a heated debate or an argument because but I thought that was what you meant when you said, oh, I thought you meant this because you did this. Oh, I thought so, because I knew where it was coming from, and because of course like Athleen and I have said in previous YouTube videos that we were accustomed to other cultures and other people, um, and he was too, but I think not as open as we were.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the things that we were used to doing, and we still do, is that we travel a lot, so we meet different people, we see different things, and more open to cultures and ideas and food, cuisine, whatever, you name it. So it was easier for us. So if you say something, we're not going to be like, oh my god, you said that, how could you say that? It's like, okay, so maybe Athleen said that because, or whatever, you know a broader perspective on it. So I think it was harder for him. But now that we've transitioned into that marriage phase, and it's
Mm-hmm.
past the first year, and we're getting, it's easier. It's much easier now. But we had to talk it out, baby. Talk it out.
Yes, that talking it out is it's a big plus because it helps you to talk about, why you're finding difficulty in a certain area with the
Yeah.
transition. For mine, just a practical thing, and I experienced the same thing like you, Nikki, and I think we were just more culturally exposed and competence because of our
Yeah.
circle of influence. Um,
Yeah.
so one of the very practical things that I had to get used to was the laundry. Oh my gosh. It seems so simple. And like, like if you tell people like, oh, it's so much laundry to do, they're like, isn't the machine doing it for you? But still, the sorting, the piles, and I'm
The
talking
the
weekly,
folding.
the folding, then the dry cleaning bill. Ooh, I remember, I think the first time I like took my husband's shirts, a few of his shirts and suits, and then a few of my dresses to the cleaners, and I decided that I'm going to pick up the dry cleaning. And I got there, I was just like, whoa! I've never paid over 100 and over $100 for dry cleaning before. I mean, I would just take a few dresses and
Wow.
a couple of tops. So the next time we did dry cleaning, I'm like, babe, can you pick up the dry cleaning? That way he
I
pays the
don't
bill.
blame you. I don't blame you.
So
I
yeah,
would too.
so I stopped picking up the dry cleaning. That's his thing. But I mean, we're past that now. We just now know, okay, this is what our bill's gonna be like. And then with the laundry, he does help with the folding, and so that makes it easy. Or I was just like, okay, so we're gonna just have a conversation, and we kind of make fun of it. We just sit there and we talk and we have light conversations, and it makes the monotony of folding seem more bearable. So that was my practical tip, Nikki.
Uh, I just think that I've been blessed with the greatest husband ever,
Oh,
where
hear
he
you.
is so supportive with every single
Nice.
thing. So while one of the things that I found with, we have friends that are also in intercultural marriages, and
Mm-hmm.
some of the, like I said, some of the transitioning phases includes, that daily daily to do list or to do things. Like
Mm-hmm.
we just chip in and just do almost every single thing together.
Nice.
So it's like, for me to say, okay, you know what, he has to do this, we just do every single thing together, and it makes it so much easier and better for us. especially in
Mhm.
this transitioning phase, and especially for when you've been living on your own for a while and you're
Mhm.
used to doing things by yourself. You're just so appreciative of having your companion, your other half, your spouse just being there, to just share everything with you. It makes the marriage so much sweeter. So I just thank God for that.
That's
So
awesome.
we just chip in and just do basically everything together.
I
It's
love
not
that.
like, okay, you're gonna do this today and I do that. No, if it needs to get done, we just do it. And we try not, nobody keeps a
Track.
tab, which is good, on, okay, you're doing this, okay, and I'm gonna do this. No, if it needs to be done and it needs to get done, you know, never a problem. So I just thank God every day for that. Such a blessing.
Awesome. That is a blessing. And I can
Yeah.
identify because I'm not going to go into this, but just wanted to piggyback off of what you said. That's so important to have that person to support you and to help you.
Yes.
I mean, that's what the Bible talks about and say, a help me to help somebody, have somebody
Yes.
support you. One of the
Yes.
things that I hated and still do hate was grocery shopping. But having my husband go with me grocery shopping, and most of the
Yes.
times he goes by himself
No,
and he
isn't it
picks up.
pleasant now?
Yeah. I mean, we go together and then, because I used to dread it. As a single person, I would just go and get what I need maybe for dinner, or that's it. But now, you're more than one. So you're buying more and you're stocking up and stuff like that. But having him go with me or having to do it, and then I come home and grocery shopping is done, you just don't
Yes.
know
Or
how
just
much I
knowing that,
appreciate that.
those cases of water that you just dreaded getting more than one,
Yeah,
now
you
you
don't have
get
to
to
lug
get
that.
three. And it's like,
Yes.
I didn't even have to
Somebody
touch that.
somebody else
Oops.
carries it.
Oops. You
Yeah.
know, it's great.
So that's awesome. So, I
Love it.
mean, I don't have any other point other than to say, I wanted to interject here, Nikki, before I hand over. Matthew 19:6, the Bible says, they are no longer two, but one. What God has joined together, let no man separate. So let no chore separate. Let no lack of communication separate.
Separate.
Let no
Do not let your
space and anger and
emotions.
emotion separate. Let no
Yes.
family member separate. This is
Yeah.
a covenant union, and we hope you are blessed and find this funny and interesting and informative, all at the same time. Nikki, over to you.
Yeah. And like Athleen said, God has put your union together, and yes, the transitioning phase can be hard at times, but with time it gets much easier. And if you prayed, fasted, asked God, He answered you and He gave
Mhm.
you your Mr. Right or your Mrs. Right, then don't let any Mr. or Mrs. Wrong come in the picture either. Make sure it works for you. The
It takes
transitioning is never,
effort.
definitely, and it's never easy, but you just have to work it out, talk it out,
Mhm.
um
Pray it out.
and yes, pray it out, laugh it out, and
Sometimes
just
walk
grow
it
with
out.
each other,
Go for a
grow with each
walk.
other. Huh?
I said sometimes walk it out. Go for a walk
That's
together.
right. Sometimes you have to walk it out. Sometimes
But I
you
walk
have
it
to
out.
walk it out.
Yeah.
Don't forget who you are while you're doing it. Both of you are unique to each other and you complement each other. Make it work for you. We hope you enjoyed our little live feed. It's not long. We don't want to bore anybody. We know it's a Sunday afternoon and we all have things that we're doing. It's the beginning of the week. Again, you can always find us on Marriage Culture TV, YouTube channel. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Make sure you join, you like, you subscribe. And listen, we're looking out for your comments. So if there's anything we said or we didn't say, if something you thought we could have added or maybe needed to do it differently, hey, we're here to learn too. We
Share
don't
your
know everything.
experiences.
So share your ideas, share your own experiences with us. And if there's anything you thought maybe we could have talked about that we didn't in this transition phase, please put it down below and we'll definitely, see if we can work it into our little schedule for the rest of the year. Again, thank you for having us and we look forward to seeing you again pretty soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.